I can only say it as simple. What happened? What happened tonight with this team in that third quarter and the game getting away from you guys?
Yeah, we got outplayed. That's on all of us. Win as a team, lose as a team. We got killed on the boards. This is a bigger, stronger team than we are, and we gotta compete and and win the 50-50 battle. I thought our guys gave the effort, okay, but it wasn't enough.
Coach, when you took the job, one of the things that you said that this would be the scrappiest team in the league, and where was that tonight?
Guys are competing. Okay, we're being outplayed.
As far as just when you look at the way the defense were, rotations, guys getting wide open threes, Bradley said, hey, that was point of emphasis. Why were they able to get that many open
I
threes?
gotta look at the film, but they got some guys that are causing some matchup problems for us, and we got to rotate. When we're trying to bring help to those guys, we got to rotate better than we did.
And then the adjustments. What adjustments were you trying to make, and which ones just didn't pan out?
Yeah, we changed our coverage on Michael Conley because he really hurt us last game. We keep trying to mix coverages with Ant and with Cat, and we're mixing in some zones. So we're trying to mix pitches, trying to keep them off guard some, but it wasn't good enough.
Coach, you mentioned guys are competing, but getting outplayed. Where do you feel like in that third quarter stretch where it kind of got away, they were getting outplayed?
Yeah, part of it is they're making shots we weren't. Okay, and that slows your momentum down. Like I said, their guys are causing matchup problems that we're not getting out of well enough defensively, and then we're taking the ball out of the net too many times. I'm second game in a row. One of their role players really hurt us. In terms of Walker, Alexander Walker tonight, McDaniel's last game. Conley's been a problem. As not one of their primary guys in terms of Ant and Cat. That's come in and hurt us the last, each of the games, but in particular the last two games. Rudy's size has been a problem for us, and we got to figure it out.
I'm sure this applies to every team to a certain degree, but it feels like when you guys have good process but miss shots, it kind of bleeds into other areas of your game. Did you feel that in the third quarter?
Sure, it's a two-way game, and one side always impacts the other. If you're not getting stops, it's hard to get the offense in rhythm, and if you're not making shots, you start thinking about that side of the ball instead of being locked into what you're supposed to do defensively. So you got to play through that. You got to have a next play mindset, and we got to be better.
Coach, the back half of the third quarter has been when things have started to get away from you guys for 3 straight games now. Do you see a correlation there? Do you think it's more just the way
the first two games, I thought it was two different things. I got to look at the tape tonight. I really feel like we just missed a lot of shots, and we left some of their shooters open, and they were able to separate and get a lead.
You don't think it's a mental thing for the team?
No.
Coach, you talked about mixing in coverages on Ant sometimes, or oftentimes that first half, you're putting 2 on the ball, trying to rotate out of that. Did you see that caused a lot of problems, primarily in the first half?
Caused problems when we didn't double him. He can rise up and shoot over top of us, and he can knife through the defense. He's a hell of a player, and like I said, when we do bring help or double teams, we got to get out of those situations better than we're doing right now.
Coach, you said yesterday that you were possibly going deeper into your bench, and you did that with bringing Bowl in and also with J.O. So did you like what you saw with J.O. when you put him on Ant-Man in the fourth, or do you feel like you should have made that adjustment earlier?
I don't feel like we should have made it earlier, but we got down and we needed a spark, and that's J.O.'s role right now on our team. And he came in and did his job. I do like the juice that he brought to the game and the energy. A lot of times when you're playing from behind, you play more, reckless, so to speak, more gambling, and we've seen that when we've had leads and teams do that to us. And J.O. was able to come in and change the game from that standpoint. So. We'll look at everything going into Game 4 to see if we can slow these guys down.
Coach, when you look at the obvious stat, no team's ever come back from the 0-3 deficit. How do you approach? I'm sure one.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for us to do something that's never been done before, and we're going to embrace that. There's no quit in our group. We do have to take it one at a time. That's our whole focus is going to be, to evaluate again, huddle up tomorrow and see what kind of adjustments we can make to win Game 4. You're playing for pride, and you're playing for an opportunity, to keep fighting. and that's what this group wants. This group does not want a season come to an end. We know the competition in the Western Conference is fierce. This is a hell of a team that we're playing. So, we're playing for pride and we're playing for an opportunity to keep fighting.
Coach, when you hear the fans booing in the game, how do you and the team digest that?
That's sports. You get your butt kicked at home, the fans are going to boo. I don't blame them.
And then one of the things when you look at a game like this, are you surprised, upset, or angry that knew what was on the line and then just didn't have it to win this game?
Well, say the question again.
Well, I mean, just your feelings on it. I mean, because, you knew that if you
we want this really bad, so it's disappointing. It's frustrating. We're all very invested in this, and we're all pouring everything we have into trying to bring these fans, a team they can be proud of, and we feel like we can still do that, but we haven't played well enough in this series.
Is part of that frustration that the adjustments that are being made just aren't working?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, it's all in the same bucket of being outplayed.
Hey, Coach Haley, I'll go by Sports 360 AZ. So when you're in the huddle in those third quarters and it's tough, how do you balance kind of not overdoing it with trying to get them going and just focusing on basketball in those huddles in kind of the dog days of the game?
Yeah, forward-looking mindset. Win the next stretch of the game, the next 2 or 3 minutes. You know what I mean? And lock into what is the task at hand, what your coverages are, what actions we want to be in offensively. I say our players have to have a next play mindset, but as a coach, that's how you have to lead your group. How do we win this next stretch? So, evaluate the areas where we're getting hurt in the game. If we're not making the extra pass, if we're getting killed on the boards, if a certain action they're running is hurting us, how do we clean that up, make the adjustments in game? That's what those timeouts are about.
Devin, how disappointing is tonight considering what was on the line and in that third quarter getting out of hand?
Every loss in the playoffs is. We put ourselves in a hole, and we got to dig ourselves out of it. So that's that.
When you said after the last game, when things get kind of loose that the team, sort of separates a little bit. Where was that at tonight? Do you feel that as well tonight or no?
No, I think we just got beat. That was a point of emphasis for us going into the game, to stick together through adversity. So, the communication was there. We just didn't execute.
Just looking at defensively with Nickeil, him getting open corner threes, what do you think? Alexander Walker, him getting open corner threes, what do you think led to that tonight? Is that poor rotations?
Poor rotations.
Book, when you look at the execution, what do you feel got away from you guys in that third quarter?
I'd have to watch it back. I just want to focus on the defensive side of the ball. They put up 126 points, and we've been keeping them around the 100 mark and trying to work on our offense. So tonight was more defensively than anything.
Obviously, your scoring totals have been lower than we're used to seeing from you. I know for you, making the right play is always the way to go, but what have they done to take you out of it scoring-wise?
They pressure everywhere and, funnel you into Gobert.
Devin, the season was obviously one where, I know it's not over, but it was championship expectations going in. How do you wrap your head around it that you're one loss away from not even getting out of the first round?
I'm the type of just, focus on the next game. So play by play, possession by possession. They say nobody's ever done it before. That's exciting.
Book, I know you guys didn't get the win, but how big was J.O. for you guys coming off the bench?
Yeah, I like what he did. He came in and, I've been a teammate of his for some time now, so I know what he's capable of. And, I think he's good on Ant. He's somebody that's going to, pressure at all times and give his all on, both sides of the ball.
Devin, in all three games, you guys have been competitive through the first half, and it seems like there's always a stretch in the third quarter that just things go just kind of off the rails. Can you pinpoint why it's always around that time in all three games?
No, I cannot.
Book, obviously, nobody's ever come back from the 3-0 deficit. What's kind of the message in the locker room after 3 games like this, going into game 4?
I mean, just, play free, take it possession by possession. That's what it is. I mean, I remember going down to the bubble, and it was the same thing. We had to win 8 to even have a chance, and, you just break them down. They all have their own personality, and you can only focus on one at a time.
Look, on nights like tonight when the fans vocalize their displeasure and disappointment with the boos, are you able to process that in real time? Do you think about it in the moment?
No, rightfully so.
In terms of their booing, you say
Yeah.
you say it's rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
Bradley, how would you summarize one like this where, you're in it at the half and then it just again got out of hand in the third quarter?
First, I want to give my praises to God. The third quarter kicking our ass, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, shit, I don't know what you want me to say. Third quarters, I think we gave credit to as we do a good job on Ant and Cat early on in the games and making them force tough shots. Cat got in foul trouble. Start the third, Cat. I'm looking up Cat's 3 open-ass threes. We just shoot ourselves in the foot with a lot of stuff.
Okay. The rotations on the threes, Alexander Walker got multiple corner threes. Is it, going into the game, how much was that discussed? Okay, can't give up open threes, and then I'm just curious on that front.
It's a point of emphasis every night. Coach comes in, puts it on the board. We have guys who we call lasers, who shoot the ball, really well, and their percentages are up there, their tendencies are up there. We just have to be better with that. Granted, a lot of stuff is about extra efforts, and Ant-Man is going to take a lot of our attention. So sometimes we double them, sometimes we just show them a lot of bodies, maybe overhelp sometimes. But they're ready to. They're telling their guys to shoot it on that first pass, and you can almost see it like every single time Ant fires it out, somebody's either catching and driving it or catching and shooting it. You don't really see it like a boomerang too much or the ball popping. Like they let it fly and they shoot it with confidence. And the kid was on the backside of a lot of those tonight. Hell, throughout the whole series he was. So.
Brad, obviously no team has ever come back from an 0-3 deficit to win a playoff series. What's the approach when you've had 3 games in a row that have followed kind of a similar pattern?
Just one game at a time. Obviously it's tough to beat a team that many times. Hell, they just did it, and we did it during the regular season. So, you just take it a game at a time. Obviously we won. It's the first of 4. Our backs against the wall, but you can't give in. You can't give up. You got to continue to compete. We got a good one on Sunday, and all you got to do is just give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance to go back to Minnesota. And just compete, man. Compete your ass off. That's all we can ask for.
Book had said he feels like when adversity hits, sometimes you go separate instead of sticking together. Did it feel like that in the third quarter tonight?
I think we have times in which we do it. I think we did a better job tonight of maybe coming together and not allowing that kind of just to linger over at times. Throughout the year we've allowed it to linger over, but I think we did a better job tonight of kind of like making a run of our own. Granted, it was probably too late in the game, but just to show that energy and that effort is what we need from the start of the game and the start of the third, because obviously those are the two Achilles heels for us.
What goes on in the locker room at halftime here? What are you saying to each other? It's a 6-point game. You're at home, and then you come out in the third quarter flat.
Yeah, we were energetic. We were confident about where we were, especially because we didn't play well, we didn't shoot the ball well, and we gave up, I think, like 9 or 10 offensive rebounds in the first half. And yeah, so given that, we're only down 6 with that big of a margin on the boards. We're like, okay, we like where we are. We just got to tighten up our rebounding, and honestly, we just didn't make a lot of shots. We don't produce a lot of threes. We didn't make a lot of shots either. But it's tough to do that when we're always taking the ball out of the net. So it's kind of we gotta get stops. There's just only one way to put it. We got to guard. We got to defend a lot better, and bring the physicality to them because they're bringing it to us.
Brad, along those same lines, with the way they like to funnel you down to Rudy, what is, in your mind, the key to generate more threes as a team? You got a lot tonight, but just in general.
Obviously it's ball movement, player movement. just getting the defense to collapse as much as possible. You know, they're a really good team. They pride themselves. I mean, they're the number one defensive team. You know, you got to give them their respects. But the way they utilize Rudy, they allow him to go one-on-one with any big who catches the ball, so they just fan out and deny Kevin, Book, me. They deny us all. And then when us three do have the ball, they're loaded up. They force me to go to the basket. They know I like to go to the basket. So they played me a lot of unders, and so I was looking for a lot of more threes tonight. But with Book and K, they just trying to be physical with them and just force them into a lot of tough contested twos and try to limit their three-point attempts. You know, so I mean they do a good job of executing their game plan. We got to be better with executing ours. It's the physicality of it, screening better, getting them guys open. Our setup's better. You know, it's just a collective thing, man. We all gotta take it a step or two higher than where we are.
Brad, over the season, we've seen you guys put together good stretches on either end of the court, but sustainability has been the main issue. What has that been like as a player over the course of the year? Because, like, for example, tonight, the threes are getting up, you're getting to the line, and then the middle quarters, that faded away. Just what has that been like? Where do you think the disconnect has happened for that to occur?
I'm not really sure what happens in those instances. But, I mean, I know for majority of it, you know, we do have times in which adversity hits and, you know, we'll kind of just get flat, you know. We got to get out of that, get away from that. You know, we have to continue to compete, continue to push. You know, teams are going to go on their runs just like we go on our runs. You know, that's the game. Why it happens, I wish I had an answer. I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but, I mean, at the end of the day, we just control what we control, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we try to do a little too much, and that hurts us. Sometimes our effort isn't there, and that hurts us too. So it's tough.
Can you describe the frustration when you don't know when it's going to click into place? Because, again, tonight it was there.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and just say I cuss everybody out or I'm like beyond mad. Like, yeah, I'm frustrated about it, but just got to keep trying to get better, you know, keep working at it, keep improving. You know, I'm always a competitor and I love to win. You know, I hate losing, just like everybody in that locker room. But it's up to us, you know, we got to figure it out and be on quickly.
You mentioned that adversity part and it being difficult to explain how that happens, but in your mind, is that from just maybe a lack of familiarity with guys, lack of time on floor together? Is it just...
I don't like making that excuse, man. Like we got to go hoop at the end of the day. Like, you know, they lace them up just like we do. They know our game just like we know their game. It comes down to who wants it the most, not X's and O's and who's guarding who or what we're running on offense. Like, it's about mano y mano and winning the matchup in front of you, you know, beating that guy and beating that team. And who wants it the most? You know, it's the playoffs, y'all. Like, we know how this is. It's physical. It's tough. Like, it's tough for teams to score over 100-plus points. And, like, that's the type of hoops that we have. But we're not dialing in on the defensive end, which is really kicking our butts.
To find more of that fight, is that a collective thing that has to happen? Is it someone stepping up? I'm just curious in your career what it's been to kind of get over that type of thing.
Oh, it's definitely a collective thing. One guy's not going to get you over that hump. One coach isn't going to get you over that hump. Like it's a collective group from everybody. Like everybody has to step up and give more, you know. I think what I love most is we're willing to do that. I think everybody's bought into that. So it's not the most ideal situation to be in, obviously, but we are where we are. And all you can do is face it head on. You know, you can't run from it.
Is there a sense of pride in that locker room right now to tell yourselves we're not getting swept at home on Sunday?
It's damn sure my mom said. I've never been swept a day in my life, so I'll be damned if that happens. You know, it's going to be a tough-ass game, and I'm sure that's going to be in the back of their mind as something that they want to go out and get done. I've been in a 3-0 situation, and you just want to just put that team to bed. So they're going to come out playing their best basketball on Sunday, you know, and we got to make sure that we match their intensity, if not better, and be prepared to win the game.